Good morning, everybody. We got a beautiful day going on today. I've already gotten through my run walk breathing time, so I've got a shirt full of sweat. I'm soaking wet, but we've gotten in some excellent air. I've said it before, but some people do say that one of the reasons why exercise is so critical is that it forces you to suck a whole lot of air. I mean, we need that air just desperately. And man, the air around here this year, right now, the honeysuckle in the air is so heavy. That smell is so good, and you'll just run into it. So breathing in good air, getting good clear thoughts to my head. I've had a lot of just real inspirational thoughts going through me as I'm dreaming about my future, as I'm thinking about what the deeper seed in me has to say, that the fingerprints of God are on my heart, and those fingerprints are unique to me, and what those signify are my talents, my one thing, and that's what I'm after. I get up every single day to fight that fight. There's a fancy word about humans. It's teleological, that we are teleological beings. Now what that means is that we are goal oriented. We are heat-seeking missiles. We are after something, okay? In fact, teleological, the reference there has to do with the truth that you and I, every single day, get up and we are after what our heart is fixed upon. That thing that we supremely love, we are after it. And here's the trick. You don't have to be aware of that. This is a default setting. Okay, this is part of our creation. How humans are wired is that you are going to be after what you love every single day. And what's so scary about that is that you don't know, you don't have to be aware of it. And even worse, you can be stating that you love certain things, but your actions revealing something else. And a person can live in so much hypocrisy. We have that within us, the ability. I hope you guys know that. We can be terribly hypocritical, and in some ways we just are hypocrites, because we're all working in some form or fashion to be something else that we think we ought to be, and there's a big gap there. And through bad theology and bad philosophy, we just work, and you never do really get there, and when you do, you're just burned out in life. But the fact is that you can say what you love all you want, but it's your actual habits, it's the things that you do habitually that reveal your true value. Those things you really value, and those things you really truly at the heart level believe in, that is what you do. And so the proof is in the pudding in your life. And so again, that's in your heart. And we've already talked about this, that your heart is covered over. It's got to cover over that temperature gauge. It's under lock and key. You can't go to moving the temperature gauge on it. In other words, the identity of what you believe and your identity and so forth and so on. You can't just go changing that however you want to. That's what the move and breathe is about. That once we understand how complicated we are in terms of getting to the heart, then we've got to practice some spiritual disciplines that are going to help us open up that heart, and through connection with Almighty God, plus proper repetition, we can be transformed, and God will transform us, and we will grow in a lot of wisdom as to how to steward this life, as complicated as we are. And we will, once we get all of everything lined out properly, then our teleologicalness, the fact that we're going to be after something and that we are after what we truly love, we can get something that's worthwhile up there that we're after. Something that's true, something that once we work to get it, it's actually what we wanted. And it's actually going to pay off. It's going to be good for me. It's going to be good for my family. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for the world. So see, that's a fight worth fighting for, and that's what the move and breathe is, in being a bridge from what's unseen, what's in the spirit, what is potential, and getting what is potential as God sees it into what's real. That's what the move and breathe is a part of. It is the bridge to get it into the physiology, into your own brain, into your thinking patterns. And so there's an old Latin phrase that speaks to this. It's called the circumambulation, and I think that in Latin it literally means the walk around. I think that's what it's, something close to that though. But the circumambulation is I guess it's a philosophy on humans, but it basically says that humans are their whole life they're circling this one thing. Okay, so you're going through your whole life, you know, same song, different verse, and you're circling this thing. You keep on circling this one thing. It's your purpose, and you get glimpses of it through desire. In other words, you'll have something will come along and you'll have an interest in it, and you need to take note of your interests, because those can be, now you have to use some, you have to use some wisdom here, and some discernment, because some of your desires are just carnal. They're going to take you out if you follow them, and they're not what you need. But many of your true purest desires, if you look at them and can tell they're constructive, they're good, they're within the creation mandate. In other words, you're going to be developing, disciplining yourself around a set of skills and talents that are going to benefit you and others. You need to take note of those desires, okay? Because those are clues to what it is you're circling in life, that thing you're circling. Now, typically people never have the courage to go for it and to let it pan out. We're raised up thinking we ought to do this or that. Maybe our parents are trying to push us in some direction that they want us to go in. Maybe we're looking at everything in terms of just money, and so we pick some career that just is going to pay out, because people think that way in America, and then they get into that and they're miserable. Or maybe you made some mistakes early on, you got somebody pregnant, or you got pregnant, and all of a sudden the responsibilities of life kind of shut down your options. Or maybe you're just, things like systematic racism and other things that kind of hold certain people down, don't give them as many opportunities as others. Maybe you've just been under that, and you or maybe you just never have heard of a way to, that's probably more accurate. We just don't teach this well, as how do we find our true desire and walk in it and develop properly and find it. So many of us can be my age, in our 40s, and really be doing a job we do not like. Well, here's what I would say with the move and breathe. You can begin to work part-time on your dream while you work full-time at your job. Does that make sense? Work part-time on your dream while you work full-time at your job. Now, because what you're wanting to do is, you're wanting to get serious about what that circumambulation is. What is that one thing? What is that thing I've been circling my whole life? I've been seeing it and seeing it and seeing it, but I've just not had the faith to just go for it. Well, start going for it. Some of the things that hold us down in beginning that, especially the older we get, is we think, I don't know how to do that. I'm not really comfortable. I'm not confident. I don't want to take steps out in public and where I'm going to look stupid and I'm going to be foolish. And so we have all these reasons why. We stack these reasons why we don't go for it. We don't just follow. God called to Abram and he said, hey, follow me into a country you do not know. And Abraham had to take that first step towards that voice calling him into the unknown to get to his destiny. Does that make sense? But see, you've got to be okay with being a fool early on, so that you can just go through the mistakes of learning. You see, you've got to be prepared to be a fool. I've had to do that with these videos and other things I'm trying to do and following my dream. I had all this stuff keeping in my way, saying, oh, people will criticize me and that'll hurt too much, and I'm scared of this and that and everything else. And the Lord's like, just follow me, just come with me, just do it. In other words, when you truly know the Lord and you're getting your value from Him, when you're truly getting your value from Him, and it's in here, it's on the inside, nobody can get to it. There aren't any words out around me that can take my value from me, because I didn't get it from them to begin with. I got it from the one who installs it in here deep. It comes straight from His throne into this doorway of my heart, where the hidden man of the heart is, and nobody can get to my value. So see, once I have that type of a sense of self that's at peace, and my expressions or my actions or the things I do aren't out there on display for people to say, yeah, we love it and I feel good about it and I'm okay, I'm affirmed, or hey, we hate it and therefore I'm tanked. My value isn't resting on what people think of this. And so I just get to do what I love, and I get to move into towards my destiny, towards that thing that's at the center there that I've been going around this my whole life. I'm talking about myself, and everybody else is the same way, but I've been going around these things my whole life. I love exercise and forms of health. I love nutrition and everything to do with what's potentially there in terms of feeding the body and things like that. I've always a lifelong interest and love in that, and I've read and studied and done all these things. I'm very interested in God and spiritual issues, and I love anything to do with developing the human life. And there's a gift mix there of desire that's part of my purpose. And so I share mine so that you can think about yours and begin to walk it out. Begin to work part-time on your dream, on that thing that's at the center of that circumambulation you've been walking around your whole life. Begin to take steps into it, because we only get one life, guys. And I've heard it said that, discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons, right? See, so if you get set on what you really love and you go for it, in other words, you discipline yourself on a daily basis to do spiritual disciplines and actions that are in alignment with it, with the time you have to give to it, it will grow. You'll become whole and fulfilled, and you'll be walking in your purpose for why you're on this planet. And then over time, it can begin to take greater and greater amounts of time. Hopefully you can begin to figure out a way to create an income from it, so that you can change the job that doesn't fit you like you need it to. It's not your work is love made visible job, but you're working yourself into that work that you do that is love made visible to the world, and you're whole with it. You're in sync, you're in harmony with that Ephesians 2:10 life. See, so you can move towards it. And again, it's okay to be a fool. Every time you start something new, you're not going to be great at it right out of the gate. The whole purpose is that it's a faith walk, and you're moving into something. It feels like risk. It's a little bit of an adventure. It's all the roadblocks start to come up to try to get into the way. But see, that's why you got to practice overcoming as a lifestyle, because everything in this world is set against you to keep you from this. But this is that one thing that's going to set you on fire in life in a good way and bless the world, and it's worth fighting for. And if you don't do it, then at the end of your life, that regret is going to be so heavy on you. And I don't want to go there. I don't want to be there, and I don't want you to be there either. So today is the day to begin to ask the questions. What am I on this earth for? Seek the Lord for that purpose. And again, like I said yesterday, the answer to that question is not as important as the question itself, because the question itself means you're in a position of belief, of faith, that there is a destiny for you, that there is a deeper purpose for you, and that you don't know it, that you're humble enough to say, I'm childlike and I don't know, and so I want to keep asking this. I'm after this one thing that really is going to set me on fire in life and bless the world in the way I've been designed to bless it. And I'm just after it. And I believe that my God will get me there as I give myself to it on a daily basis, and I follow Him in loving obedience, and I just steward this incredible life. You have an incredible life. The potential within you is unlimited. And when God adds His Spirit to you, you become a supernatural being. And the move and breathe is that bridge that'll get that supernaturalness worked into your very physiology so that you can express it to this world. And it's worth it. Go for it today, guys. I'm encouraging you, even as I'm encouraging myself. I'm believing that the words I'm speaking have juice on them, and they're really landing in the right spot. And I'm also praying that these words of mine will get to so many people and encourage them. But if it'll encourage just one person, I'll do it if nobody sees it, because I just like doing this. I really love it. I'm encouraging me and my wife at a minimum. So bless you guys. I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.